joined by Nancy Cahalen, the president of the Better Business Bureau of Central New England, to talk about the electricity rates, which are set to go up this winter, and the market of suppliers that are out there for consumers to choose from. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. So you've had an increase in consumer inquiries about this subject?
Oh, most definitely. We've had a lot of folks call the office, and we've had also inquiries on our website about this subject.
And so when we're talking about suppliers, so you get your electric bill, you pay the electric company, but there's a separate section for the supplier of that electricity, and that's what we're talking about.
Right. It can be on your regular electric bill that you get now, or if you contract with a different supplier, they may send you a separate bill. But there is such thing as a supplier.
And so do people, can you go out and look for that, or are these suppliers actively now going out there and trying to get new business?
Well, they seem to be doing a lot of soliciting right now for new business because of the anticipated increase in the rate. So, but you certainly could look for a supplier on your own.
Okay, and what do you advise people to do if they are contacted by another supplier?
Well, don't jump at the first opportunity to move away from your current electrical supplier. You really need to find out if there's an introductory rate. You need to get everything in writing and then check it out. If they're reputable, they're going to give you plenty of time to do your homework and think about it before you sign.
Okay, and you also have to make sure that they're licensed in the state of
Yes,
Massachusetts.
you do. The state of Massachusetts requires a license, and you can check with the Department of Public Utilities or contact your Better Business Bureau and check out the supplier, and we'll look into that for you.
Okay, we certainly don't want to discourage people from saving money, right? You want people to shop around, but there is that potential, as you had mentioned, to get burned.
Right.
What have you been seeing?
Well, we've seen a lot of activity, a lot of new entries into the market, and whenever we see something like that, we get a little concerned about it because we've got, it's the same situation when there's a big storm, new entries into the market to provide services, and we don't know that much about them because they've come from out of state.
So really, people have to do their homework.
Yes, they really do.
And it's not just with these particular types of suppliers, but you also mentioned solar energy. Tell me what's going on there.
We've seen a real increase in that activity as well. And they're going door to door, trying to get folks to sign on to solar. There's a big upfront cost to solar because of the panels, and you have to make sure that your roof is going to be able to hold the weight. There's a lot that's involved there, so you really need to make sure you've got all your information, you've done all your homework before you sign on.
And how do you go about checking these companies out? What's the best way that you would advise for people to go about that?
Well, I would suggest that you check them first with the Better Business Bureau. If we don't have a listing on them, we'll try to find out. We'll look them up in another state. But start with us, and if we can't help you, we'll direct you somewhere else.
And if in fact you feel like you have been taken by a supplier, what is the best course of action?
Well, you can, of course, file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, but you can also file a complaint with the Massachusetts Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. So come to us first, and we'll direct you.
Nancy Cahalen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks again for having me.